It didn't record it. Ugh. Okay, to be serious, in defense of an interest in astrology. Okay, well, first of all, I've said several times I don't believe in astrology. I don't believe that um, if there's any metaphysical truth to the magical aspects. I defend its value to take time thinking about on various grounds. Okay. First of all, yes, in the past it has yielded things like astronomy. And you point out that maybe astrometry and astronomy predate in some sense, and I could see that, but I don't know. I left a comment to that regard. You can just refer to that comment. But the thing is, there's various things in various forms of astrology that are interesting. Well, I'm going to do it in reverse order of the video that it just didn't take. I hope it takes this one. But, firstly, there's a psychological aspect. You can read a sign, you can mistake your sign for something else, read a different sign, and get something from reading that. Because astrologers write in a particular way that is reflective of yourself. You put into it what you need to get out of it. Because you know about your life. You're the missing piece. They don't, and they're acting like they do it by magic. But it's sort of a mentalist trick. Another really good one for that is the I Ching. I Ching is great writing, worth just reading, and you roll it and it works. It makes you think about the question that you've asked it, and it gets you to go through a thought process. And yeah, it's just some sort of an algorithm that uses yourself as the missing piece. You know about your life. Does that mean it's an illusion? That's like saying mirrors are illusions. Yeah, it's an illusion if you think that there's another person standing over there that looks just like you. But if you know it's a mirror, it's not an illusion. That's just what mirrors do. Same thing with I Ching and astrology. So there's definitely a difference in the quality of writing and art of a good and bad astrologer. And it's hard to know whether the art is best done by people that think they're charlatans but do the art well, reflectively, or whether it's best done by people that actually believe in it but somehow strike in this formula anyway. I don't know. Okay. Might there be 12 personality types? Well, yeah. Would they be synchronized with the solar calendar? I don't know. They could be. I believe the DNA, has these personality types in its bag of tricks. We don't know how it comes out. It could release them on any kind of cycle. And so there's that defense of astrology, is in the sense that you can learn how the stars move and stuff. And since it's an interesting way to be self-reflective for a moment, you can read your horoscope. The problem there is that they don't use the sidereal. So they tell me that the sun was in Sagittarius, and it wasn't. It was in Ophiuchus. Now, I am very Sagittarian. That sign applies to me. But then again, you've got 12 personality types to describe, and maybe those that are more aptly described take it more seriously, the selection function. So I defend it based on the fact that it is a calendar. So since we have been living for millions of years, we could have cycles. We have cycles on lunar and daily, daily patterns and solar patterns. We know that. So might there be 10,000, 14,000 year periods, like things that happen with the stars? Who knows? But if we're going to waste time thinking about it, then we might as well hook with those cycles. But we unhooked from those cycles, and so now we just have this weird thing where the signs is not really where the sun is. It's where the sun is angularly throughout the year, but it's not where the sun actually is in terms of what constellation is behind it. By the way, there's a great program. I was thinking of making a video like this that was edited with Stellarium. It's a great program, and it's a free GPL, free software, very nice looking planetarium. And you can turn the atmosphere off and see the sun just as a star, big bright star, in the sky in front of it, whatever constellation. And that's kind of interesting. So the other issue is just what happens first when you go out at night and see the stars for the first time as a child, or think back into the first humans that might have been brave enough to do that. What's going to be first? The wonder of it, how wonderful it feels, or you're going to be measuring the angular separation between Sagittarius A and Arcturus or something. You know, this sense of wonder is there. And why? That's the interesting question. Why would there be this bond, this spiritual bond? I mean, going out at night is this amazing thing, to me anyway. That's how I've always experienced it. You know, and as I get older, less and less wonder to it, but, you know, I still remember, and it's wonderful enough. You can always get a thrill, this is kind of a spiritual thrill, by going out and seeing a clear sky, bunch of stars. And why is that? In bioevolutionary terms, why would that be? So anyway, I leave you with that, and I probably left stuff out, but whatever, and cheers, and let's see if this thing takes.